Hello and welcome to the Shadow and Soul Storytime podcast. I'm your host, Rayneen and it is the intention of this show to share with you the lessons and the medicine that live within our everyday experiences. In today's episode, I'm joined by dear friend Manda Joyful for a conversation that ultimately revolves around both the fears of and the desire to be seen in communion with other. One of my favorite things about this episode and Manda in general is her present moment process and curiosity and ability to uncover. She is quite the example of that, and I can't wait to share all this goodness with you. If you find yourself throughout the episode being touched in some way, inspired in some way, being able to draw parallels into your own life, the best way that you can show your gratitude and your support is to subscribe to the show, to leave a rating and a review, to share with a friend. Really, this is just the way that the world works in terms of algorithm, and the more of that we have, the more we'll be able to share this beautiful work with others. And so with all that being said, now to prepare yourself to receive whatever it is that's here for you. My invitation is to take a moment and a couple of breaths to pull yourself into your body, to hold this intention to open and to let land whatever it is that's meant for you. So with all that being said, let's dive in. So I had the pleasure of meeting Amanda a little over a year ago at a rewilding in-person retreat. It was the Dark Goddess retreat. It was amazing. And not only was my experience there amazing, but I also came out with it with a really beautiful friend. And I would love for her to share whatever it is that you want to share with those listening. About yourself. I'll say that. We'll start there. Just about yourself.
Sure. About myself, what really wants to come up is I feel like I am a person in transition often. And that's really the space that there's this I want to say it's the space I'm most comfortable, but it's not because it's really uncomfortable, but it's the space I'm most familiar is being this person like in transition and holding duality and um yeah and want to say making sense of it, but I don't mean in like the mind sort of sense, but more like the heart sense of that. Um, and I guess I speak to that because yeah, and in our dark goddess retreat, like I what came out on the other side of it was not what I expected. And that's usually where what lands for me. Um, and so again, speaking to transition, I guess a little bit of my background is I call it my muggle job. My muggle job is I'm a teacher. I'm a special education teacher. I work with students who are blind and visually impaired. I'm also a minister and coach. Um, and I struggled to make sense of how, like I said yes to both of those at the same time. And through my process, I was like, why does this all work? And I question a lot of things. And again, where I'm landing or trying to land, or I don't even know if there's a destination, but I'm learning like it doesn't have to make sense. Like it just has to be the next step, the next yes. And so those were the same. They were the same. They were yes at the same time. And my kids have taught me so much. And I really hope that I have taught them enough, but really it's all about connection for me. And I'm able to connect deeply with my students and their families. And then that kind of like mirrors the work that I do with my ministry and my coaching. I'm complete.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Mhm.
So let's see. I'm actually going to invite you to close your eyes
Mm, okay.
and have a deep breath. and start to feel into that soul self again. And once you feel like you're like, yeah, okay, I'm connected back into this place, I want you to internally ask yourself, your soul, that question of like, all right, where do we begin? Where does our story begin here today?
Smile, because right before you said, where does our story begin? Like, just the word story came up for me. And um, I recently started discovering like core wounding. I was never like really into astrology. Like I knew my sun sign, I knew my whatever. Now I know. Now I can like tell you all of them. And I guess for everybody, like I'm a Aries Taurus cusp. Um, so again, all about that like duality, the balance. Um, Aries moon, everything is in Aries, but I'm a Cancer rising. So I am fire and water and trying to learn how to find that balance between fire and water, and be like a simmer rather than like, have one overtake the other. Um, and so I was going into my core wounding, my Chiron, um, and found that my Chiron is in Gemini in the 11th house. And one of the things that I had learned was that it is the wound of words, and it is the wound of feeling like you fit in a community space.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh my goodness. If I could have started there, like if I could have started with the Chiron, like I feel like it would have made well, I feel like it would have made the process faster, but is that really what we need? No. Like I found it at the perfect time and in a very interesting way and in a very like deep and dark part of my personal story. This actually just happened. And so I was thinking about story and how I like we're all are is there more than one story? Like that's the question. I'm like, is there more than one story? Or are we all a part of the same story and we're playing different parts and pieces and with different uh, not objectives, but like different learning opportunities and like opportunities for growth, and we bring our trauma and we bring our wounding and we bring everything forward, and so even though we have the same exact experience, like our stories are completely opposite. um I've been thinking about that because of the space that I was just in, where for I'm just gonna I don't want to like go into huge detail here, but like I blew up my life. Like I blew up my life and did something that made complete sense to me for my story. Um, and as you're doing that, like as you are working to heal your wounds and find your truest truth and sit within yourself and really understand that soul piece, like we're never doing that in isolation. Like our path and our healing affects other people, and and sometimes it encourages other people in like I don't want to say good ways, but in ways that are gentle. And sometimes it encourages other people in ways that are not as gentle, and sometimes are really hurtful. And maybe it's not the intention that we have when we're in our story and in our process, but that doesn't mean that, yeah. So that's really where my learning is right now, is how on these paths, whether it's a personal path or a spiritual awakening or anything, like it's never in isolation. It's all connected. Um, and as much as like this one like hurts me to say, because like I don't like I went through a period of time. I think I even said that at the Dark Goddess retreat. Like it doesn't always have to be like a battle. It doesn't have to be this grand thing that like is that hurts and is painful. Sometimes we forget like there is hurt and pain in the subtle things, like the subtle switches or changes that happen. You don't really know that. And also sometimes it can be sweet, and sometimes something that you think is going to be painful, like that breaks away completely. Like you're like, oh, that didn't hurt that bad. Like, okay, that was ready. And it's just, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like a splinter. Like a splinter seems like such a small thing, but then you get one, and like that is all you can focus on. And yeah, and like when I guess along with that, like, and then your body like naturally is trying to like push it out, push it out, push it out. And but you also have skin that's like covering over it. Like, yeah, and I feel like I'm in that space, like that transition space between knowing, like soul knowing things that I'm trying to release, but also like almost like a physical thing where I'm just also trying to keep it in me, keep it together, keep it
Hmm.
whatever. And there's this, yeah, there's this balance and duality to that. And like this constant reminder of like, but this is what I've done ceremony around. This is what I've prayed for. This is what I know my soul wants. Yet the body is just like, are you sure? Maybe it's not the body. Maybe, and it's really hard. It's hard to talk about these aspects of self as separate because they're not.
Hmm.
Language is really difficult sometimes. Um, but yeah, that's there's a lot. There's a lot there.
Yeah, there really is. So the question that is like standing out to me most right now is you right recently you just said something like the soul knows what it wants.
Yes.
What is that? And here's the thing too, right? Like I understand that like the nature of the show is highly vulnerable, right? Like we're
Yeah.
literally sharing our personal stories with essentially strangers for the most part. And I just want to honor the bravery to come and to be courageous, to be so vulnerable, to be so open. And I know that there's like a fine line of like how much and what. With that being said, though, I know that for myself personally and the people I've worked with, the more vulnerable and
Yeah.
like detailed, it's okay to go into the details here if you feel it's safe to, right? And so I don't want you to share anything that you don't feel safe to share. With that being said, an invitation to the like the more you can like bear yourself here, I know that like I'm getting chills just like thinking about it, but it's like that's when we're able to like really connect with
Yeah.
someone and like draw the parallels to our own life of like, oh man, like my soul desire is this, and like whatever it is. But that was the main question that came up, is like, well, I want to know like
Yeah.
what is this soul desire?
No, and I appreciate that feedback because it is my tendency. Again, it's this, it kind of circles back to core wounding, like, and I wrote on this not that long ago. It's like, what is it that you want? And I'm like, I want to be seen, but not all the time. Like, I want to be seen when I want to be seen, like how I want to be seen. And then I started thinking about that, and I'm like, oh, that's a little bit, that's control. when I want to. And I had my elder in my ministry. She came to me in a dream, where I was standing on the edge of, like, I was in circle with a bunch of women and looking at a ceremony, and I was very comfortable being like in the edge, in the shadow, not fully being seen, but still kind of there. And like she called me out like in this dream I had, and she's like, you need to come front and center and speak what you have to say. And so um again, when you were talking, you're like, we want to get deep. And I'm like, I know, but there's this aspect of me that just wants to dip my toe in. Like I want to dip my toe in. And it's absolutely like this element of safety, this element of like, is it okay to be fully seen? I've had multiple times in my life. Actually, I went to a breath work and I had three people in the same breath work like look at me and they're like, "Oh, you're a shapeshifter." And I'm like, "What?" Like, and it was three people in 4 hours like said that. So I'm like, "Okay, I'm hearing you. Like, I'm hearing you." And really like, and I felt like after the first, I'm like, haha, yeah, shapeshifter. But after the third one, like it felt like a wounding almost because I was thinking of it in such a negative way. Um, and after I've sat with that a little bit, like, yes, I absolutely do that. And I appreciate people who can see it and invite me out more fully. Like, it's like, this is okay. It's a safe place. We're vulnerable. We're here. Um, because what is my soul longing? My soul longing is for deep connection. Absolutely, like just deep connection to um, hold and support and create and grow community and offerings and like help nurture things into being. And I mean, and there is part of that. And again, like I'm glad this came forward and you just because this is like you guys you're seeing my process. My
Yeah.
process happens in real time, like constantly. And really like, yeah, like my what is my soul longing? It's those connections of people who can who know me and are like, hey, I want like not even just like I want you to show up more, but because it's not really like, I mean, there is this like element of wanting, but just to remind you of the fullness of your being. And again, when we talk about holding duality and this like being a person in transition all the time, I struggle with this idea of simultaneously being too much
Mm.
and not enough. Like, and there's this, it's like breath. Like, okay, and here I am, and oh, that's too much. And so there's this constant, like, just guard up for myself. So let me start again. Um, the goddess retreat. The goddess retreat made me realize how well, a lot of things. It like Lilith came through for me, but that wasn't the first time. Like Lilith has been coming through and asking me to work with her for a few years before that. Like so much like I shed with the new moon, like my like it's been a process, and I've always kind of pushed her away. Like, no, 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 no. Thinking I could for one. Um, And so with the Dark Goddess retreat, um, I just realized a lot about how I was like living my life, um, and really around like authenticity and autonomy, um, and realizing how important those things were for me. So, um, oh, there's hesitation here.
Yeah.
there's hesitation here. And I think it goes back to like that idea of story where it's not just my story, like it's other people's stories
Mhm.
too.
Mhm.
And me wanting to be mindful and respectful and everything. But again, like I think with stories, this is mine. Like this is how I understood it with all of my background of my everything. Like, so it may not be the story of my partners, it may not be the story of anyone. Like, this is my story. This is my truth. It is not the capital T truth. It's my truth. Um, so your question was I'm sorry, what was the question? What is that soul longing?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my soul was longing to be seen. That is really where I like to be seen in the fullness of my capacity, to be seen exactly for who and how I am, to be, and not just seen, like to be seen and held and loved and celebrated and understood in all that I am and all of how I am. Um, my soul was aching for movement. So a little bit of my background is I got married when I was 19, and I absolutely love my partner. I love him with all of my being. And um I don't regret getting married that young. It's just it's a difficult space to be in when you are 19, and at the same time, so like I'm 19 and I'm having this like complicated relationship with like with religion. I grew up I grew up Lutheran. My partner grew up Latter-day Saint or Mormon. And for me, it wasn't like a big deal, like what it was. Like my relationship to the divine was a big deal. And at that time I would have said like my relationship to God was a big deal. Um, so I ended up joining the LDS church. And that's an interesting space to be in, especially as someone who wants to be like loved and valued and respected and seen as their whole and complete self.
Mm-hmm. What is coming up for me here is like, so you kind of almost gave two answers to like this like soul longing piece. The first one that you gave was about like connection and community, and then the second one was about being seen. And I'm wondering like, what is the tie for you? Like, how are they connected?
Right. Yeah, and it goes back to the like I'm sitting here going like, oh, okay, we're talking about core wounding completely because again, what is my core wounding? My core wounding is around not feeling like a part of a community or that I can be completely seen, and so therefore I remove myself, or I stand in the shadow, or I stand back, or I just try and like bend myself to fit in again, like shapeshifter. Like, can I fit in so that way you may or may not like me, or but at least I'll feel kind of connected. Um, and yeah, and that's it. Like, in order to be a part, like there's so many things that I loved about being LDS. um they get community like better than
Yeah.
any other, I mean,
Yeah.
any other like religion I experience. Like their entire structure is centered around like community and connection, and like there's just always a way to like plug in.
Hmm.
Loved that. But in order to join the church, like there were aspects of myself that I had to ask for forgiveness for.
Mhm.
That, like, as I got older, well, even as it happened, like, that felt like such a moment of betrayal for myself. So, okay, so to dive in, so the term, I'm queer. I'm a queer person. Um, like, if we want like deep labels, like I guess pansexual is like my sexual identity. I connect to people, I don't connect to parts. And then I also fall under like well, I guess it's technically the trans umbrella. That's something I didn't realize. So I'm non-binary or gender fluid. Um, Often female presenting. But again, for me, it's just a it's a non-issue. And something wants to come up with that, so I'll follow that train of thought. Um, like I didn't realize how much I was in. So I will use like she or they. Like it doesn't matter. I don't care about the pronouns. You could call me whatever you want. I don't. It doesn't bother me. I will respect others, but for me personally, it doesn't bother me. Um, and so one thing that I realized when once I was able to like share this part of myself, and this happened. It happened before the time is silly. Like remember time. I think it happened the February before. So maybe like a year and a half or something is when I like came out to my family. Um as and for me it was something like I was sitting there holding that because there was a lot of voices. Like I'm married to a male present like well he's cisgender male, like he presents male, like looking at me, it you would assume that I'm in like a heterosexual relationship. And so there was this part where I'm just like, is it important? Why do I feel the need to do this? But it was just this aspect of me and this aspect of my story and this aspect of my past, like, you know, my parents had never knew I had a girlfriend, like in my life. Like they had never known that. and and so yeah, it was just this part of me that I would keep hidden. And I think that then like when I have to keep it hidden, when I had to like ask for forgiveness around it, like it created this sense of shame. And I think that's where I'm at, where I'm just like burning things around me that there used to be shame around. And so again, like why did Lilith come to me? Because I have a lot of like shame, like just internalized around like sexuality. Because again, growing up religious, growing up and then like converting to LDS, like there's so much shame around sex and sexuality and sensuality. Like at least sexuality, you know, like or sex has a purpose. Like you have sex to procreate. But sensuality, I almost feel like sensuality is even like a bigger, I'm going to say sin here, like but that has even more shame because what is sensuality for? Like sensuality just feeds lust. And I have always like just love the sensual. Like I love the connection to the body and like looking and at things. And again, like sensuality is so much more than just like the I don't know, like feel into that. It's so much more than what we think it is. Like it's like really deeply enjoying like the flavor of a peach and just the entire sensory experience around that. And touch, taste, smell, like I find a lot of sensuality around food. Um,
Me too.
I mean, and again, what's funny about that, I'll share this part of like my history too, is I'm, you know, I find so much sensuality around food. But I began my eating disorder when I was 11, where I would like restrict anything that
Mhm.
was like pleasurable or enjoyment. And again, the whole idea is like to keep me small, to make me feel like I have a sense of control when like everything else is just going to shit. Like, so I've been learning how to heal that and how to take my time. That's actually one thing. Like if we eat together, like hope you don't need to go anywhere. Like because I take my time with my food and like I will put down my fork and just like sit there and like not just savor the food in the moment or the food, but like to savor the moment, to savor that connection point with the person that I'm with and to just be present. And that has become a way for me to oh I never put words to this before, but like self-care, like that is a way like I am showing myself I care and I'm honoring
Mm.
this and I'm choosing this experience for me and I am not going to rush it and um yeah, I feel like there's threads that are open out there, but here's here we are.
All right, so here's a question. Uh,
Mhm.
it sounds like your relationship with the Mormon church was almost like that external affirmation that it wasn't safe to be like your full self, that not all of, because like it's like when we have core woundings, we have things in life that are gonna prove us right, right?
Right.
For sure.
Mhm.
What I'm
Mhm.
curious about is, and because I know like as we start to like, and sometimes it's easier to work through the external ones first, right?
Mhm.
I'm curious what you've found with the internal, like how do you deny this for yourself? Where it's not
You
someone
mean,
else
yeah.
that's doing it, it's actually like you.
Right, yeah.
And
How do
here,
I
I'll
do
I'll
that?
I'll, I'll give you something else to feel in too. So,
Okay.
um, have you ever heard of sankalpa and vikalpa? Those words. Have I talked to you about those words before? We had conversation.
I
They
think so, but can you remind
they
me?
come from yogic philosophy, and so sankalpa can be looked at as like, and I'm not going to dive super deep into this, but and sankalpa can be seen as almost like this like soul's like greatest desire, and vikalpa is like I'll say like the unconscious desire that's in direct conflict with it. So like if your soul's greatest desire is to be like your full self, to be seen, and in turn to be in like really deep nourishing community with people who fully see you and like fully like receive you, then the vikalpa, like, so that's like if that's like the sankalpa, right? The vikalpa would be like, uh, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth yet, but at least what you've shared so far with like the church, for example, like uh it's like the fears that are like hidden because of like
Hmm.
those experiences, right? Like the direct conflict. So, and I'll use myself here, let me use myself for example.
Okay.
One of the desires that I've been working through recently is like this desire to be desired, or like
Mm,
to be desired by, as well as to desire this. And it could be interchanged with love too, like to love and be loved by, but it's like the receive, it's like the other side of it too. So if that was what I found, is like, okay, here's this sankalpa I'm working with like I want to be desired. The vikalpa that I found, the direct conflict was like, I don't want to be desired because that led to unsafe experience. I was
right,
desired and then I was raped, right? Like that's like one of the things I found.
right.
Like, and I'm curious about like, could you put words, so you've put words around like the soul's desire, can you put words around like the thing that's in direct conflict with it, right? That shadowy aspect of self that also wants something out of protection, but its desire is blocking your soul's desire.
I'm sure I can. Let's see if I can get there.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, like I don't know where we're going yet. But I think so as you were talking, I'm really, really good at leaning into my fire and burning everything to the ground. Like that is something I'm very good at. I like will especially when I was younger, like I would never just like make an exit. Like there had to be like this finality of it. Like, okay, this is not for me. So therefore, like I'm cutting and severing this connection. And I feel like that relates because it's like, what is it that I want? I want community, I want connection, but I am quick to leave.
Mm,
And there is this thing where it's like, mm, ugh,
that's a good face.
yeah. And I find that I do this, like, I mean, especially in like the land of social media, like there's so many people who like update and post constantly. Um, I tend to do it in like big walls of text and knowing, knowing that nobody reads a big wall of text. Like you need to do like little quick like videos or whatever. Like we like hardly anybody will read through a big wall of text. And it's in those big walls of text where I will like show myself, where I will be like, this is me and my authenticity. And like, if you wanted, oh, son of a bitch. If you wanted to do the work, if you wanted to read through this wall of text, you could know me. Like it's
Mm,
that. Like there's like hoops that I make people jump through. And yeah, that is that like protection piece. Like I want connection, I want deep community, and I'm gonna make you fucking work for it
mm,
because I am terrified of oh, I don't want to say of being abandoned, of being like rejected, of oh, yeah. So you got to work for it. And even if you like keep proving it over and over again, it'll give you more.
yeah.
And if you still do it, then it's like, okay, well now it's time for me to run. Like, okay, like yeah, there's so much there.
Mm.
Where like I'll either sever something or yeah, create some like I'm a really good like creator of chaos. Like I'm so good at that. Observe sometimes. Like but sometimes it's just one of my dear connections shares with me that I'm a cyclone or her like a cyclone I think is what he calls me at times. And it's not in like a negative way. Like he's just I don't know, I feel like that touches on how I'm a really good creator of chaos.
I get that. And there's so many like different threads we could go off of just that piece
Yes.
alone. What I do want to do for a moment though is just like take a step back to that last piece of oh, let me find words.
Hmm.
The underlying fear of abandonment that ultimately causes you to either create the hurdles or leave yourself. I want to go back to that because I want to just one like honor and thank you for getting there because that is
Hmm.
we have here's the thing. I have to celebrate you right now. We have to go back and we have to sit with that sticky thing again because so much of like this work that like we do, right? Like shadow work, this kind of
Right.
we have to like untangle the like negative things around the like deeply uncomfortable or uh like for example when you shared that I could have been like oh like but no I
Yeah.
was like oh like fuck yeah I like fucking got it like and it's so fucking good
Yeah.
it's so good because that is where the lessons are like that is where the medicine that is where the magic is in the ability to like shine a light on that part of ourselves that is creating chaos or whatever and to know again it's like it's just trying to protect us it
Right.
really is
Yeah.
with no judgment around that we all create chaos we all deny ourselves of the things that we deeply desire in some way shape or form whether we're conscious to it yet or not and so
Mm-hmm.
I just really want to honor that because that was good and I loved all the faces along the way I was like oh shit it's coming it's good
No, thank you. I mean, and I do feel like I can share more of a story of how this played out. Um,
please
I guess another thing that I'm hesitant to share, have been hesitant to share, like I talked about being queer, like I use queer because it also encompasses like how I view relationships. So I am a committed non-monogamous. Um, and that again, that is hard because relationships are hard and evolving and not even evolving, just like uncovering who you are and have been while you are paired with someone else that is doing the same thing. Like that is difficult. I mean, and honestly, like that is what a relationship is like growing separately while also trying to grow together and um so that's been a part of my experience right now is realizing that's how I am and what I've noticed from that is when I feel, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like it doesn't matter if I had multiple partners or if it was just one, but when I feel disconnected from my partner, from a person I am close to, I absolutely will go out and like create the chaos to find a connection. And honestly, like what I've learned is like in that moment, I'm not actually trying to find a connection. I'm trying to find something familiar that my wounding understands.
Mm.
That is like, oh, well, this is comfortable because I know this pain. Like I know this wound. I know this thing.
can I ask you to go into more detail because I feel like what you're starting to describe right now is like so many of us could relate to it even if it's not from like a relational standpoint whether you're in
Yeah.
like that but what you're describing like I just feel like there's something there for those that are listening like that we all like if you could share more and I'm not again what you're comfortable with but
Yeah,
you comfortable sharing more detail
sure. So
like a
I
very
was in a,
specific story yeah
so yes, there is a very specific story. Um, so in March of this year, after like sitting with my shit and realizing like I needed movement, I needed something, I needed change, I needed different. I decided to pack up everything and that I was going to move to New York. Um, and the invitation was there for my partner that I cohabitate with to join me, but he was not in a space where he wanted to, and I've been throwing I threw a lot out at the people I was in connection with. And again, not just partners, like my parents, my coworkers, like it was just I threw everything. Um and and in those choices, I didn't feel completely supported. I was struggling with like actually connecting and talking to my partners. Um, and so I felt completely isolated and alone. And so what I ended up doing was I was out with they were actually family, and I met a person that like gave me attention
Mm.
and gave me like I felt seen, I felt accepted, I felt um yeah, you talked about like that wanting to feel loved or desired or wanted, like who wanted to like communicate with me. Like I love conversations. Like I love getting like lost in a conversation for hours. Like I'm a type of person like I never have like an end.
Mhm.
Like if we get together, I will never plan anything afterwards because I'm like I have no clue how long it's going to be. And again, I think it's just growing up like in circle together. Like we'll stay up all night. Like it doesn't bother me. I think like that is just where I connect. And so when I find people that are like that, like it it it's not true. Like I will create this idea around the person
Mhm.
that then um yeah, like I keep on going back to, so I've been using this analogy a lot lately. Like Little Red Riding Hood. I love the story and have always loved the story of like Little Red Riding Hood. And my partner told me, they're like, well, yeah, because you are Little Red. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not Little Red. And he's like, yep, you're Little Red Riding Hood. He's like, you will hold people and just like ask questions and be so enamored with them and be like, oh, what big eyes you have and look at your teeth, like all of these things. He's like, he goes, you are enamored with these people, and often they're people that absolutely like push up right against my wounding. and and he's like, but you have your hood up. He's like, we can't connect
Mm.
with you. Like he's like, you do not share yourself. And that was something where I'm like, I share myself just fine. But he's right. Like he's absolutely right. Where, and again, I think that it's just I will not share. I what my protectors are protecting is like my emotional and spiritual self. Like my emotional and spiritual self, like you have to work to get it. Um, but yeah, this like physical self
Mm.
to the wolves. Like that's fine. Like I don't know, like the body, and that's a realization that I have had recently, and I have been doing like a lot of just reconnecting and trust building with my body again. And it actually came out of the story that I'm like dancing around because again, I don't want to go into it, but
Yeah.
I'm going to. But so I had it I met a person that I immediately I knew was bad for me. But I don't, okay, again, like I don't like using bad for me. I met a person that I knew was going to push up against my wounding and be a lot of lessons for me. Um, and it was okay. Like I'm like, yeah, I'm choosing this because I felt connected, because I felt like I'm like, okay, fine. I'm not getting my connection from uh I want to say like these safe places, these oh, did I want that? That's a question. Or is it I just wanted, sometimes you want your wounding.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wanted my wounding.
Yeah.
I wanted, ooh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be linear. I wanted my wounding. I wanted the people that I loved and who loved me. I wanted them to see me hurting, I guess, and be like, oh,
Mm.
I love you. don't hurt. Like, I want to be connected with you. So yeah, like sometimes you don't know how to ask for things. There's not words, or there are words, but I was not equipped in that moment. And I feel like I've just been in that where I've been doing things, where I was doing things, just really, really wanting the people I was in relationship with and connection with to be like, are you okay? Like, maybe this isn't the best, like maybe this isn't the best for you. Maybe there's another way that we could, do this. And yeah, and so it's like, again, like that chaos. But within that connection, and all of the various ways, like it's so interesting because like there were moments where I could tell that I was working on trust. Like sometimes I feel like I'm going into this thing with a person who's a wolf, and to say like I was in that connection with the wolf and I knew in my soul that what I'm working on here is trust, that seems silly. Like it's not me trusting the wolf. It was me learning that I can trust myself and trust my body, and just how often like I have my own fucking back. And again,
Mhm.
like that deeper learning that, okay, am I really feeling disconnected from my partners, or am I really just disconnected from myself?
Mm.
And that's what it was. So it took it so that it took this situation. It took me connecting with someone like, and I knew known him for a little while. Um and then being put in a situation where I was drugged, and I started like, sorry, there's a part of me that's like, I want to correct something. I'm not going to. That's fine. I'm just going to have it be what it is. But as like my awareness started like sinking into my internal prison, my body, this thing that I have like offered to the wolves again and again and again, like it like I want to say it stood up. What's that word? It like, oh, there's not like why is this? I feel like it's stuck. Um my body just went into, I am going to protect you at all cost mode. Like there was no question, and like it figured out what was happening, and like I was able to grab my purse and get to a place where somebody could help me like get get home, get to where I was safe. um and I remember like I would kind of go in and out of these like moments of consciousness, and in one of my moments of consciousness, like I just had this realization where it's like, I can protect myself. I can like I don't need anybody else to protect me. Like I can do it, and I can trust myself, because I was really just struggling with trust like across the board. And in that like shit situation, it became very clear to me like who of my connections I can trust. And I had been withholding trust. I had been withholding trust from, my long-term partner. I had been withholding trust from like dear friends, and I had been withholding trust from myself. Like again, like this this poor body, soul being that I am, like I have, for as long as I can remember, like I have not been very kind to it. I have constantly like not shown myself the acceptance that I have been seeking
Mm.
externally. And yeah, in that space of, I don't even know what to call it. And it was a, I'm gonna say it was a very weird thing to like have that come through while I was still in it. Because that came through while I was still like at the bar. Like my dad had not gotten to me yet. Like, and so I'm drugged and processing this like at the same time. And I feel like a question would help with
Yeah, no,
more.
I mean, there's a lot here. So hold on, let me feel into like which.
Mhm.
So there's a couple of different like threads within this one story, right? Because I feel like one of the big nuggets that you touched on was this like the longing to feel connected with your, as you called them, like safe partnerships,
Mhm.
and that the disconnection that you actually felt there had more to do with a disconnection with yourself. So that was like one nugget.
Mhm.
This other nugget that you touched on, which I just love all the awareness around this, by the way. So this other layer being that it's like I'm operating from that like unconscious place of like I want this attention, but not at the time having enough awareness to just ask for it. Instead,
Mhm.
like making scenarios that would make you feel a certain way so that they would be like, hey, what's going on? What makes me think is like I remember we all do this, by the way,
Mhm.
all of us do. I remember being in like third grade and like somebody like broke their leg and got crutches, and I wanted crutches so bad because I wanted
Yeah.
attention. I wanted
Yeah.
attention. I didn't want to break my leg. I wanted attention. We all do this, right? It's like I don't know what else to say about it. We just all do that. Is there
Yeah.
something?
Well, and well, there is because, and I think so much of this life is actually like an unlearning because I wanted to share something like I used to be oh, okay, I'm going to share this. So, okay. I in the Lutheran church that I grew up in, it was Christmas time and we were doing a Christmas pageant. And I like told my mother and my grandmother we were allowed to pick any color costume. Oh, sorry, my class, we were the angels. We were the angels in this Christmas pageant. And I went home and I'm like, we're gonna be angels. They told us we could pick any color costume that we wanted. And like my mom and grandma are like, really? I'm like, yes. And so my grandmother and my mother like went with me to the fabric store, and this is the 90s. So I picked out like the hottest pink that you could possibly find, like that just burns your eyeballs, that hot pink. And my grandmother made me an angel costume. And so I was the one hot pink angel in a sea of white. And I had no problem with that. Like I had no problem like articulating the desire of my heart and showing up and being fucking seen as
Mm.
like the hot pink angel that I was and wanted to be. And again, like I when it comes to when it comes to like religion and a lot of like the societal and a lot of them can be like familial too, like pressures, like yeah, there's a lot of influence that like my parents and grandparents have had on ways that I wanted to present or keep myself small or whatever. But in that moment, like I look back and just like I give my mom and grandma like huge kudos where they knew, had to know, like
Yeah.
no, but still like loved me and supported me and like walked in with me, and I was not embarrassed at all. Like, I'm just like, why aren't you guys hot pink angels? This is stupid. Like, you should, like, why wouldn't you be who you want to be? And so part of my, so I don't have the answers to this. Like, how do I want to get back to her.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
how do I get back to her?
yeah. Here's another question that might help. Like what does you walking out onto stage of like your life as like the hot pink angel, like what does that look like today?
That currently look like?
Yeah, like what would that look like in your day to day to come out as that hot pink angel?
I think it just would be free to express who and how I am. And I feel like there's so much um self-editing for me,
Mm.
like where I feel like I just have to be one thing. And again, it goes back to like what I acknowledge and how I introduce myself. Like, I am not just one thing. Like, I hold duality. My entire purpose is holding that tension between things that are opposite. But sometimes really, it's an internal conflict. Like, because it is tense. And and then there is that fear of like, but if I do this, am I going to be like, am I going to be received? Are people going to leave me? Then there's that other part is like, and if they leave me, do I know that I am complete in and of myself and I'm going to be fine? I'm going to be okay. Um, yeah, so that's a good question. I'm going to have to like sit on that. Like,
Yeah.
how can I show up as a hot pink angel
Yeah.
in my life? Um, and I sorry. So I just like cut my hair and it's all one color now. Um, because I actually felt like again, it's like hindsight, like after going through all of my, oh, I just want to be accepted and seen and loved and cared for thing, like my hair was like purple and like I got piercings that I never intended. Like I was being very, very impulsive. And so on the like on the other side of that, I'm like, oh, my inner teenager just really, really, really needed love. Like, and then I sit there and think about that, like with I think I was about 8 years old when I was a hot pink angel. Um, and 8-year-old Manda like loved everyone. 38-year-old Manda loves everyone. Like, but 8-year-old Manda like loved everybody, loved herself, wasn't like afraid to show it. Um, and yeah, I feel like hmm, I feel like there's so many like rules and agreements and like things in place right now that makes that hard. It makes that really difficult. And so like I'm sitting here examining those things and like holding it up against my soul longing, my soul calling, my soul work, whatever it is, my soul desire. And yeah, and being like, ooh, what wants to come forward? And I don't, but I don't want to say this because I don't like how it sounds. So I'm going to say it. Like, is it worth it? Like that is like breaking apart those, like, is it worth it? Is my soul longing and soul calling and whatever, like, is it worth it? And then that again goes back into my, okay, here's my awareness. Like, am I worth it? Like
Mm.
it's that. And yeah, and I struggle sometimes. And I think again, this is something that I know this is something that everybody struggles with, but feeling like I'm sometimes like in my connections, like I'm not worth the time or energy or effort that
Mm.
people, yeah, like to connect to or to work on things or like, and that's hard. Um, but again, it's also, have I shown myself that I am worthy of my love, time, attention, consistency? Oh my God. Oh my God. Like I have to I have to talk about that because like that's a big thing. Like if you're in relationship with me, you've heard me say this. Like I just want consistency. And
Mm.
it's like,
Uh,
yes, I want consistency. Like are you listening to this, Manda? Like all my soul wants from you, Manda, is
yeah.
fucking consistency. Can you be consistent? Like no, I'm trying.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm aware and I don't and I have these moments like as again my life is in transition and my relationships are in transition and there's like this uncertainty like I express to those I'm in connection with like so much of what I'm bringing up for you like I'm aware that it's me like I need the consistency from myself and
Yes.
wish I could say like I have the answers. I know how to do it. I don't. Don't at all.
But you being able to say that is everything.
Mm.
It reminds me, there's this program that I'm in right now called the Pleasure Path. And
Mm.
one of the exercises that we had to do, which I loved, I'll probably mention, this will probably get mentioned a bunch because it's so good. And it's so relevant specifically to what you're talking about too, because this exercise specifically had to do with like intimacy, like how do we
Mm.
define intimacy? But ultimately, she had us looking at like, she had us start by looking at like our intimate relationships and this question of like, what is it that is like, what does intimacy look like with the people or the person that like you're in relationship with, and like what do you want out of it, what do you need out of it, what is like, what are all of the things that like make up intimate relationship? And then from that big list of things we had to narrow it down to three things, like three non-negotiable things for like this current moment in time. Like what are the non-negotiable things that we need in this intimate relationship to feel like solid in it? So we picked out those three things. And then she like stripped away the other person and was like, now, how do you give these things to yourself? And it was like,
Like no.
and it's been
Yeah.
such a journey to like look at like, whoa, like these are the things that I'm wanting from other people, but how do I do it for myself? And it doesn't take away from the responsibility that we have in partnership to be able to like ask for those things and for those people to be able to give them to us. It just really highlights that it's just as important, if not more important, for us to be giving ourselves those things too. Because, and here's another way to kind of like tie up that story that you're telling us, is like, because when we don't give it to ourselves, then we create the chaos, and then this whole terrifying circumstance, in your case anyway, like came out of it, right? And the beautiful thing is that thank goodness you were okay and your body did take care of you. And like, and it's
Right.
also like when we look back, it's like, okay, like I saw that. Like, how many more times do I need to see these things about myself before I stop creating that kind? And again, there's no judgment, right? Because we all
Right.
do it. We all do it. And the more awareness we can bring to it, especially like on the other side of it, it's like, okay, like, okay, how do I take, like you said, now you see all these things, but it's like from there where it's like, okay, those are the questions asked. Like, how do I give myself consistency? How do I see myself? How do I accept myself? How do I show myself? And then you just start
Mm.
slowly doing it. But you did the hardest part already.
Mm. Yes. And I keep on wanting to tell myself that, like, okay, we're through it. Well, we're not through it, but like, yeah, the hard part. Like, I know that this isn't a new analogy, like everybody uses it, but I feel like when you are in the goo is like when you understand like the whole, yeah, like the cocoon and the
Yeah.
chrysalis like reference. And I've also I do my best thinking when my best meditating, honestly, like when I hand wash dishes. Like, I'm not a like sit still meditator. That does not work with my body. Um, so I need movement. And so I will hand wash dishes, and like it's a very meditative space. And what was coming through like in that meditative space was, I'm like, I am really not comfortable being goo. I
Mhm.
don't like being goo. Like, and there's this like paradoxical quality, I think, of goo, because like what makes I'm not an expert on bugs right now. My understanding of this analogy is that like it's the movement and the like pushing against the container and the chrysalis, and like that takes you from like the goo form into the butterfly somehow. But I just look at goo and I'm like, sometimes it's really fucking hard to move as goo. Like, and I don't like, and that's where I feel like I have been for a
Mhm.
while, where it's like, I just don't want to fucking move. Some people would say that's depression. It's like you're the goo and you don't want to move, and like don't even know how to move or where to move or what to move, or yeah, but you can't just be goo. I guess you can.
I was gonna say though, I have this like one of my like very first teachers, like one of the I can see her like she would put her hands together. Like someone asked some question, something about like how long or like when, and
Mm,
she kind of just put her hands out like this, and she was like, as long as it takes. And it's like one of those things where it's like you're gonna be goo as long as like you need to be goo, and that's
yeah,
okay,
it
even if you
is. So that was,
don't like it.
we had talked, yes, we did. So again, another theme that like has come up for me, like in my writing, um, for years, is this idea of surrender.
Mm,
And in my brain, the way the way I like to view surrender is, it's like, you're in water, and like not surrendering is swimming. Like, you're swimming to a destination. Like, that is not surrender.
yeah.
Um, and so the way I saw surrender was, okay, I'm floating. Like, look, I'm surrendering to this water. I'm floating. And then you and your beautiful wisdom, like, said like it's okay to sink to the bottom. Like, and I started like sitting there, and again, like another person I'm in connection with said, no, like if you are truly surrendering, like you're gonna drown.
Yeah.
Like, if you are surrendering to that water, you're going to drown. And just that ability to drown in the darkness, the sorrow, the grief, the pain of it all, the loneliness, the fear,
Mm.
whatever it is. Like, surrendering to that, surrendering to the goo.
I
Yeah.
I love so much that you brought that up. And I'll have to be transparent too. I can't take credit for that beautiful wisdom. So it's actually one of my
Mm,
dear friends. Her name is Yvonne. She'll definitely be on an episode for sure.
awesome.
She said those words actually. We were in our TP when we were doing our lifestyle program, and she said something about like not like it's almost like like if you're drowning, right? Like it's like you gotta sink all the way to the bottom because you can't even like the bottom is the only place that you can push up from. Like it's the
Mm,
only place that you can like kick and like push back up. And I love that because it's like we could be drowning and like, oh God, like trying to get back to the surface or just like staying there and not letting the process happen. But what would happen if you like exhaled all your breath out, did
yeah.
go to the bottom, and then from that place you could push yourself up when you're ready, and who knows, and this is the other like layer of it too, like I feel like what goodies are at the bottom for you that are also ready to rise up with you like from the top. And so actually
Mhm.
I think that this is like the perfect way to kind of like wrap this up, and it's another, and so you take your time with this question, but I'm curious, like as you've continued to kind of let yourself sink toward the bottom, what are the things, and you don't have to know all of them yet, but are there any things that you have started to collect from the bottom that you want to take up with you, like when you do push yourself up? Lessons, medicine, knowings.
I guess like I have to have a moment of honesty too, where I feel like I'm really struggling with
That's okay.
allowing myself to surrender and be at the
Mm.
bottom. Um, yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I've allowed myself to get to the bottom.
Mm.
Um,
Okay, here's a good question then.
yeah.
Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Really start to connect back again into that soul place. Or actually, like soul place, yes, and like maybe start to bring up that hot pink angel, Amanda. Yeah, bring her up. I actually want to ask her this question.
Hmm.
What is her advice for you in this process of surrendering?
Love myself enough to let myself surrender. Yeah.
Hmm.
So ugh, I don't like this. Um, and again, she said, and to be seen in at the bottom, to be seen at the bottom.
Mm.
I don't, I don't like that. I, there it is. Okay. All I want, all my soul's call, like want and desire is to be authentically connected, right? Like that's been the thread for all of me, for all of me. But when I am at the bottom, if I ever get to the any part of the descent that I'm in, floating, I don't want people to know or see me floating. I
Mm.
or my descent. The way that looks in my life is I will go into like hibernation mode and I will tend to myself by myself because and it's that like hyper vigilance and hyper reliance because and I don't think like it's a fear of like weakness or anything, but it is a vulnerable. Like if I let you see me
Mm.
in my gooey state, like mm, sorry, she's my hot pink self is talking to me too. She said, "You don't always have to be the butterfly. Like you don't always have to be the butterfly." And that's hard. Again, so we didn't even talk about like Manda Joyful. That's my name that I was ordained under. My middle name is Joy.
Ah.
Um, and like that is so much a part of me. It's like joy and joyful, but I'm a fucking shadow worker. Like I do grief and trauma work. And there's space enough for all of it, and I can hold it for other people. Again, I talk about holding the duality and holding the tension for other people and doing it well, and I can do it in some aspects, but yeah, that the part that I struggle holding for myself and allowing myself to be seen as is the part that is really like struggling or really dark or not joyful or not, well, it's not that I don't have to be joyful, but that doesn't have their shit together, I guess. I think it's that
Hmm.
part. Like, um, and that is true. Like I have had many people I've been in connection with like call me out when I disappear. And if what I'm wanting is that love and connection and support, how am I going to receive it if I don't share myself authentically? If I don't share myself as I'm at the bottom.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. And
So,
okay, so beautiful. So beautiful. And I just really want to like reflect back to you that like that's literally what you've just done for this whole last hour plus that we've been together is like let yourself be completely seen in your descent.
mm,
So
yeah.
much so that like you were so honest about like I actually haven't gotten to that touch point yet. Like so good job because you literally just did it. You literally just did it
Thank
in
you.
like a very public way. So thank you so much for sharing all of you and your
Yeah.
stories and everything. Like, and here I'll say this before I give you like one final thing to share.
Mhm.
I don't trust people who aren't willing to share their darkness or who appear to like have it all together or have all the answers or like they, I'm like, oh, we're all
Yeah.
struggling here. So I think it's a greater show
Hmm.
when someone can be vulnerable and real and be like, I don't have it all together and I am struggling and because honestly that makes for the best for people who can really like hold us in our own process of that if they can be open and honest about theirs too. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Well, and I think so often I'm worried about, like, I want it to be packaged and pretty. Like,
Uh-huh.
and so as I'm going through it, I'm like, nah, no, I'm not going to share. Afterwards, I'm like, here's this
Yeah.
packaged and pretty
Yeah.
product of what I've learned. Like, but but again, it comes back to like maybe story and lenses and stuff like that and how you're viewing it. Like if it's afterwards, it's not, I don't want to say it's not as real. It's just not as raw.
Yeah.
It's not as, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's coming up right now is, and you've probably heard her say it before, but So for those of you listening, the retreat that we went on, the rewilding community, rewilding with Sabrina Lynn. So that's the teacher. Something that she said that like I just love. It resonates with me so much. She's like, for those of us who do this kind of work in the world, we serve through our cracks. And I just love that because I feel like that's what you just did right now. Like all of those like different lessons and like medicine bits like sprinkled in your stories, like they weren't packaged pretty. Like you were in process
Mhm.
through this whole thing of like literally just like sitting with it and what is coming up. And like that is like you serving through your cracks in a way that you wouldn't actually probably been able to serve and like offer in that way. You could probably tell the story on the other side, but it probably
Yeah.
hits different coming through the crack, right?
I think it does. And that's something that I have to be very mindful of with myself as I'm always wanting like, okay, what's the lesson? Like, so I will tell a story sometimes and be like, but there's going to be a point. There's like going to be a lesson at the end of it. And sometimes it's not like s- sometimes it's just the story and it's not, oh, so and it's not mine to determine what the lesson is for anybody else.
Mm,
And that speaks to a learning that I just had where like I had a person I was in connection with like look at me and tell me like, well, this is your healing work. This is what you need to do. And it
mm,
just rubbed me the wrong fucking way. And I'm like, you have no clue like
yeah,
what all is in me. Like you're seeing it from the outside. You don't know what my lesson is, and you may not even know what the story is. Like, so yeah, I mean, but again, like what a great mirror there where it's like, okay, but I can internalize it. And when I'm trying to share my thing, I'm sharing with a specific lesson that I feel like should be imparted sometimes. But again, I think that's why these conversations are so great because yeah, you get to see me in real time, just sharing rather than, especially like if I'm writing it, if I'm writing stuff out, like I always want it to wrap up.
yeah,
So, um, my partner is like he's really into film, and he loves a story that like ends in a very like open way and like can be open to interpretation.
yeah.
And those are the ones that like piss me off the most, where I'm like, are you fucking kidding? I just wasted my time. And it is like a conversation point where he just said, he's like, but there's so much like hope. There's so much like,
Yeah,
yeah, like hope that can be found in a story that doesn't have a clear ending because it's what you can make of it each time you watch it, each time you
yeah,
engage with it, whenever you talk about it and think about it more. Like, again, I think I get caught up so much with like, what is the lesson? And maybe there's multiple depending
yeah,
on how you're approaching it or
yeah.
where you're at. So,
That's beautiful. Thank you for saying that. Because I was like, as you're saying before, you said the thing about like you don't like that. I'm like, yeah, this is it's, and this is what this gets to be because it's like for those listening,
mhm,
when you walk away from this conversation, it's kind of tapping into those places. Like, what is it that was like poked at inside of you or like
right.
brought up inside of you or made you think of this scenario? Like that is the open-endedness that makes these like so healing for you to come on here and to have this experience and so healing for someone else to
Right.
like have the things like stirred up, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So here's like final question.
Okay.
If folks would like to connect with you, what is the best way that they can do that?
Yeah. So I mean, I have a website. As I've been in my goo, I have not done a good job like keeping it up, but that's okay because it's real and it's life. Um, so my website is www.mandajoyful.com. And I have the email works for me too. Do you want me to, like, should I just say
I
my
can, so
email?
I'll type
Okay.
out all of this stuff. If you want to say it, you
Okay.
can totally say it, but I will also put it in the show notes for sure.
Okay. I mean, it's Rev, like short for Reverend, REV dot Manda Joyful at gmail.com is my email. And yeah, and so I do offer I'm going to go back and say I'm in transition. So so
Very
it's
full circle.
yeah. Um I do offer coaching. I do offer like a space for I'm really about being like my program that I have is called Rooted in Being, and it's really like a space where we can like discover ourselves. And I say it that way, like, yeah, whoever works with me, they can discover themselves. But we I just like with teaching, I get just as much out of this as whomever I work with. And yeah, and diving into the muck and the goo, like, and the descent, and doing that in a way that is supported. So yeah, or if there's questions or follow up or just connection points,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm open to it and I look forward to it.
Awesome. Thank
Mm,
you so much. So
welcome.
much. Do you have any like final parting words you'd like to share?
I have final parting words that I'd like to share. Let me see. Um, it's so again, like I close my eyes, and right now, like my little pink me is still here, and like I close my eyes and it looks hot pink, and I'm really happy about that. And I think it was just a moment for me, but it's relevant for everybody else too. But yeah, it's really like the don't be afraid to like love and celebrate yourself fully. Like that is an awareness I didn't have. Again, like it's what I've wanted, what I needed, what I've been searching elsewhere for. And yeah, I'm gonna have to evaluate the ways that maybe I don't offer that to myself. But yeah, that's little Manda Joyful's reminder. Love yourself
I-
fully, celebrate yourself, and yeah. And I guess engage with other people that do. Like, oh, there's more. Yeah. Like, and I think that that's something like I've noticed in my relationships, like um, I have not expressed like my love and appreciation and celebration for other people that I am in connection with as openly. So again, like, press it. Like, what's it gonna like? Okay, so somebody knows that you love them and appreciate them. Like, react poorly. Why do we do that? Like, why are there so many like resistance and barriers to like just sharing how much we love and like have capacity for love?
Oh, yo, because that's shit scary.
Right. Yes, yes, it is. Like, it is. And I think like that's the question of like that pure 8-year-old energy is like, what the
Yeah,
feel?
no,
Like,
exactly.
just do it. Like, just love and celebrate, and everything's gonna be fine. Sure. I'm gonna try and trust her a little bit more.
Yeah. I love hot pink Manda.
I do too. Yeah. So, on a It's just funny. Like I primarily wear black. I just like black. Like, but hot pink manta feels like this like stark contrast between. Yeah, but it's okay. I'm still hot pink on the inside.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I'll just yeah, I'll have to figure out ways. Yeah, I want to figure out ways to honor hot pink manta in this life, in this version of me.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you,
You're
thank
welcome.
you. Thank you to everyone who's listening. Yeah, I just
Yes,
look forward to the next time we get to dive in some stories together.
wonderful. It's been great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Mm.